NSAR's judicial panel indicts army and police over Lekki shooting. Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival crowd surge. Turkish man joins search party looking for himself.
Hey there, it's the Delphinator here. This is Watchman News Africa, breaking the breaking news. The Judicial Panel of Inquiry and Restitution on Lekki tollgate shooting incident and cases of police brutality as well as human rights violations has indicted the Nigerian army and the police of complicity in the death of protesters at the Lekki tollgate in 2020.
The Honorable Attorney General has said it, that we had these NSAS abuses to look into, police brutality cases, and the additional term of reference, which was the investigation into the incident at the Lekki tollgate on 20th of October 2020.
The panel also found that the conduct of the Nigerian army was exacerbated by its refusal to allow ambulances render medical assistance to victims who required such assistance. The army was also found not to have adhered to its own rules of engagement. The panel found that the Nigerian police force deployed its officers to the Lekki tollgate on the 9th of October 2020, and between that night and the morning of October 21, 2020, its officers shot at, assaulted, and battered unarmed protesters, which led to injuries and deaths. The police officers also tried to cover up their actions by picking up bullets on site. The panel found that the LCC, Lekki Concession Company, hampered the panel's investigation by refusing to turn over some useful and vital information or evidence as requested by the panel and the forensic expert engaged by the panel, even where such information and evidence was by the company's admission available. It manipulated the incomplete CCTV video footage of the Lekki tollgate on the night of October 20, 2020, which it tendered before the panel. The panel found that there was an invitation of the Nigerian army to Lagos State made by the Lagos State government through governor before the hierarchy of the Nigerian army deployed its soldiers to the Lekki tollgate on the night of October 20, 2020. The panel also found that there was an attempt to cover up the incident of October 20 by cleaning up the Lekki tollgate and failure to preserve the scene ahead of the potential investigation. The panel also made a total of 32 recommendations, which include holistic police reforms covering welfare, training and proper equipping of policemen and their working environment, sanctioning of the officers of the Nigerian Army and the Nigerian Police Force, respectively, who participated in shooting, injuring, and killing of unarmed protesters at the Lekki tollgate on October 20 and 21, 2020. Development of more robust engagement between the youth and the government, setting up of a standing committee or tribunal to deal with cases of violation of human rights by security agencies, and a trust fund to settle compensation awarded by such committee or tribunal. A public apology to NSAS protesters who were killed, injured, and traumatized by the incident of October 20, 2020. The memorialization of the Lekki tollgate and October 20, 2020, the date. Following the indictment, there have been reactions all over social media from Nigerians, both young and old, expressing their relief and joy over the outcome. However, their joy won't be complete until all the recommendations by the judicial panel are executed. In the developing story of Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival disaster, 9 people aged between 14 and 27 were killed in a crash during the show.
Hundreds were injured, including a 9-year-old boy who was first in coma but now is deceased. And now doctors say a 22-year-old woman who has been in hospital since the concert is showing no signs of brain activity. The news comes after a Houston fire chief claimed rapper Travis Scott should have halted the show more quickly. The 9-year-old boy, who was initially fighting for his life after he was trampled at the event, passed away sadly. At least 50,000 people attended the event, and there have been reports that people hopped turnstiles and fences to get into the sold-out festival without tickets. There have now been at least 140 lawsuits filed against the organizers, with 50 already initiated against Live Nation Entertainment Inc. and Scott, who has said he is devastated by the tragedy. Attorneys representing more than 200 survivors and victims of last week's Astroworld Festival tragedy are set to file a further 90 lawsuits against the promoters for the crowd crush that killed 9 people and injured dozens more. Attorney Ben Crump, speaking at a news conference in Houston, Texas, said he and other attorneys were representing a group of more than 200 who say they were victims of the week's crush. It brings the lawsuits filed against Astroworld organizers to 140, with 50 already initiated against Live Nation Entertainment Inc. and Mr. Scott, who denies wrongdoing and expressed that he was devastated. Let's talk about the actual concert and the spiritual implications. Multiple attendees have said that they felt they were in hell, all using the same word, hell. Brooke Elliott, a woman claiming to be an attendee at the concert at Astroworld Festival, has described the event as hell, saying she was surrounded by so many lifeless bodies and sinkholes of people in the crowd. Brooke Elliott posted her experiences on TikTok, describing what she allegedly saw at the Houston Festival, where 9 people were killed during the crowd surge.
I'm coming on here to talk about my experience at Astrofest. It is extremely traumatizing. I've never experienced anything like that in my entire life. Probably because I've never been surrounded by so many lifeless bodies. I haven't been able to stop thinking about what was happening all around me. It was so demonic. The energy was so demonic. The set was demonic. Travis was demonic. We were literally in hell. Like, it felt like we were in hell. Nobody could breathe. We were all suffocating. Everybody around me was suffocating. We were standing on our tiptoes, and all you see is everyone around you, chins up, gasping for air, and that's all you see around you.
She said, I haven't been able to stop thinking about what was happening all around me. It was so demonic. The energy was so demonic. The set was demonic. Travis was demonic. We were literally in hell. It felt like we were in hell. She went on to describe how people needed to stand on their tippy toes to breathe, and that there was nothing that anyone could do about it. It's evident that there was an intentionality behind the demonic happenings at the concert. The set design, with people walking right through the edifice of Travis Scott's open mouth, and the bold text written, "See you on the other side." Even all the fire effects used on the stage showed some kind of ritual being carried out. I could even feel the demonic energy just by watching the video clips. You see, music is powerful, and the devil knows this and uses it as a tool to deceive people and draw them into darkness and oppression by demons. We must be careful what we open ourselves up to. As unfortunate as this event was, I pray that it will be a lesson for people going forward. In a scene worthy of a comedy sketch, a Turkish man joined a search party for a missing person, not realizing the individual being pursued was him. Beyhan Mutlu, 51, went drinking with a friend in a forest in the town of Inegöl, northwest Turkey, late Tuesday. His wife reported him missing after he did not return home, and she heard he had walked away from his friend drunk. Rescue teams were called in to find Mutlu,
who had gone to sleep in a house in the forest. He came across members of the search party in the morning and decided to help them find the missing person. He realized he was the focus of the search when they began calling his name. Gosh. After a while, they said they were looking for Behan Mutlu. I broke into a cold sweat when I heard my name. I told them I was Behan Mutlu, but they continued to search. Mutlu continued. They didn't even believe me. The truth came out when my friend Mesut saw me. Mutlu said he was part of the search team for more than half an hour. Totally hilarious. How can you be looking for yourself? As funny as this is, it paints a very serious picture of many of us today. Scripture says, do not be drunk with wine, but be filled with the Spirit. Many people are inebriated with ideas and ideologies from the world through media and entertainment. The world has given them the notion that self-discovery is the most important journey that one can be on. There are thousands of self-help books published yearly on how to find yourself. But the truth of the matter is that you can't find yourself if you do not find God, your creator. Many are looking for themselves because quite literally they're lost. They're looking for meaning and purpose out of life. But there is none without God because He created life. There are those who are even born again but still somehow lost. Born again or not, the Lord is saying, seek me while I may be found. Call on me while I am near. You see, there will come a time when it might be too late to call on God. Remember the story of the rich man and Lazarus? Do not wait a single second longer. Call on God. And that's all for Watchman News tonight. Again, it's the Delphinator here. Until the next one, to-dos.